What's going on, Mutha Truckers? Welcome to Mutha Trucker News. Emails at muthatruckernews@gmail.com. You know, I'm out here at Freight Waves for F3, and I got to hear about this news. You know, I'm seeing this everywhere on Yahoo, Freight Waves, CDO Life, you name it in transportation, they're talking about today because they just announced that JB Hunt and BNSF launched service that can move 7 to 11 million loads from over the road to intermodal.
Actually a jump back to the past. And we're going to step back to the year 1989. And for those historians in the room, you might recognize this as a very significant year in our industry. But at this particular time, our industry was completely different. It was different because railroads and truckers were fierce competitors. They didn't work together. It was different because really intermodal had not even been thought of. But then two visionaries came together, two pioneers, Mr. J.B. Hunt and Mr. Mike Haverty, who then was president of the Santa Fe Railroad. They came together on what's now known as a very historic train trip departing Chicago. On that trip, they made a deal. They made a deal with a handshake. And they said, we're going to work together. We're going to work together because we need to do something different. Our customers are demanding that we create long-term value with a more efficient way to move freight. They didn't know what that deal was going to become, but in that discussion, they left and then set their teams to work. They set their teams to work to figure out how to put JB Hunt trailers on the Santa Fe Railroad. And when they did that, those teams came together and they came up with this idea and this brand, and they called it Quantum, by investing in our people, our technology, and capacity. And at JB Hunt, we said we were going to expand our container fleet by 40%, up to 150,000 containers by 2027. The BNSF also said they were going to expand their railroad network, expand their track, their terminals, expand their technology, and also invest in their people. We started making great progress with that. But as you can see here, as an industry, the intermodal industry continued to struggle. And the industry historically has been about 6.7% of the highway market. You can see that the share of that business started to decline, and really coming into this year was down to almost 5.5%. That represents around 1.4 to 1.6 million loads. So you can look at that and say, okay, well, what is the growth of the industry? What's that look like? Well, not very good. As an industry, we've flatlined since 2017. So you can get kind of discouraged by that. Or, in the spirit of Mr. Hunt and Mr. Haverty, you can also look at that as an opportunity. And you can think, what if the industry would have continued growing and creating value for customers to do that at the same rate from 07 to 17? What would it look like for the next 10 years? Well, this is what it looks like. It looks like a tremendous opportunity. A tremendous opportunity for us to win back the share. A tremendous opportunity to create new value for our customers again, to win back their trust. But that's not enough. That's just what it could be, what it should be. But we also know we can take another leap forward. Another leap forward in the intermodal industry by doing something completely different. And so with the inspiring words of one of our co-founders, Mrs. John L. Hunt, I'd like you to listen to what she thinks about the future of intermodal.
This, I will say, was the beginning of the biggest thing we've ever done. We're going to order these containers, we're going to put them on the railroad, and look at what it has become.
All right, we're in the quantum phase of intermodal. And with quantum, in 1989, we launched Quantum to take care of our customers' highway freight and put it on the train. And in 2023, we're bringing Quantum back. We're bringing Quantum back to create a completely unprecedented level of consistency, an unprecedented level of operational agility, and that agility that can take care of our customers' most service-sensitive highway freight that they've never thought about putting on the train. And we believe we can take a leap forward in doing that. And so, to help me talk about it a little bit further, I would like to invite our president and EVP at J.B. Hunt, Mr. Darren Field, as well as Mr. Tom G. Williams, Group Vice President of Consumer Products at the BNSF. Please help me welcome them to the stage. Hey, gentlemen. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Doing well.
Good.
Hey, we just made a big announcement, but before we get into that, I'd like to just take a second. We had a big joint initiative that we launched in March of 22. And with that, I'd just like to take a step back and have each of you share what led up to that announcement. Why'd we do that? And Darren, maybe you can start.
Sure. Well, I think as much as anything, it's an evolution of our relationship for now more than 30 years. You know, that relationship and that foundation from Mike Haverty and Mr. Hunt is really built on a mutual commitment to deliver exceptional customer experience through the intermodal products. And that commitment is mutual to our customers and to each other. And as we hadn't previously done a big announcement about hard capacity expansion, but as you mentioned, I heard in your presentation, I mean, March of 2022, customers were frustrated with the experience they were having, and we wanted to make it a strong commitment to our customers publicly about expansion of those hard assets. And that's not the only thing that we're working on, but certainly the container fleet is the most visible part of our capacity, and so really wanted to show our customers that we're committed along with BNSF to expanding our capacity.
Yeah, you bet. Big investment. And Tom, same from a BNSF perspective.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a culture of collaboration, as you noted, that goes back over 30 years now. And so, you know, we made an announcement last year, but I would also say that that's just a continuation of what we've been doing for a long time in terms of getting our teams together, setting joint goals, and executing against strategies that ultimately are designed to provide a better intermodal service for our joint customers.
Yeah. Big joint announcement. And then really, you know, we set that up. We've been investing across the board. But you might share, really, that was March of 22. Over the last 18 months or so, what have y'all been doing since? And Tom, you might start with that.
Yeah, so I would think about the investments that we announced in 22 as foundational to providing a higher quality overall base level intermodal service that we can build upon. And so from a BNSF perspective, you know, really going back to 2019, we've invested over $2 billion in expansion capital alone. And a lot of those investments are strategically focused around the intermodal offering so that we can, one, add capacity, but also improve the consistency and reliability of just the base level service. So some of the facts around that, 90 miles of additional mainline track, so double and triple tracking in locations to provide a more consistent train service. 8 miles of loading track at our ramps. We call those production tracks at our intermodal facilities. 8 additional miles of those loading tracks and over 7,000 parking spaces. So again, capacity to handle additional volume and capacity to handle that additional volume more consistently over time.
Yeah, Darren?
Well, you know, when we talk about the hard capacity, expanding containers, expanding lift capacity in facilities, it takes people, process, and technology together to execute on our commitment for our customers. And I think the collaboration together on people, today in that last year, we have J.B. Hunt employees embedded with BNSF in Fort Worth in their planning center. We have better defined, I think, our SOPs and how we interact with each other in terms of making efficiency the goal for our drivers and for all of our employees, and then really integrating our technology. You know, today our our clouds talk to each other.
Yeah.
So really, we're very integrated and working on all the behind the scenes roles that drive an efficient answer for our customers. We be more agile, more flexible, more customized for our customers. And I think we have long seen a huge amount of business out there where we thought intermodal can be the right answer. But customers have been hesitant for a host of reasons. And so what can we do that's unique in the market and gain their trust, convince our shippers that we can serve their most critical business consistently with the level of service they require. And so it's an enormous opportunity. It draws on our roots, but we probably had to make a few changes, and I think that's the work that we're doing today.
Yeah, and just one more thing, Darren. I know we had a joint executive team meeting back in the fall of 22.
We did, and you know, both executive teams, John Roberts, Shelley Simpson there in our whole executive team, Katie Farmer, CEO at BNSF, she actually opened the session and challenged the whole room. What do customers want from us that they can't buy? And I think that dialogue, that effort, and that discussion really led us to this program here today, and we're excited about it.
Yeah, Tom?
I do think there's been a lot of awareness in our industry, but both on the rail and the carrier side has talked a lot about how much volume moves over the road in lanes that have an intermodal service. And so we know that opportunity's out there, and certainly having a core base service that is improved over where it's been historically from a consistency perspective is important. But this is really stepping forward in terms of putting our teams together to really take that next step and take an action to penetrate that additional market opportunity by jointly planning and managing out variability on those end-to-end moves for that additional volume. And so it's a joint planning effort and a joint effort that we're doing together on exception management to really take that variability down to a more truck-like level.
Yeah. So let's dig just a little bit deeper into Quantum. You know, our core intermodal product is improving, but what makes Quantum different?
You know, I think it's all in the planning, and it's really how we take a customized answer and use the teams that are working together hand in hand. And, you know, J.B. Hunt has a long history of customizing answers in our dedicated business, in our highway business. And I think we've earned confidence from our customers that when we engineer an answer and really design it, and then talk about what actions we can take through monitoring and be agile with that response when there is a problem. I think we know how to make intermodal be an answer for customers that need a really high level of service. And so really you're focused on getting the teams aligned, making sure that our communication with the customers around what their needs really are, and then how do we translate that into the BNSF operating system so that together we're both aligned in what the customers are expecting. And so all the work over the last year and a half is very focused on that so that we can go attack that market of highway business where we can gain back that share. I know you shared a chart highlighting that intermodal has lost share. And so our mission with Quantum is to just expand the market, really grow the market so that we can go out and grow our business, create density. Density in our business creates efficiency, and I believe it can actually lift the entire product. All of our business can perform better through the processes that Quantum is teaching us.
And again, you made the point. I mean, I think if we were only trying to get back the share that, you know, has been lost through this freight recession over the last couple of years in terms of that percentage of intermodal relative to highway moves, we wouldn't necessarily be moved to launch this. This is really about penetrating additional markets. I mean, we know that inbound moves into warehouse, that inventory replenishment is a good fit for intermodal, but really targeting outbound direct-to-customer moves, other moves that have traditionally maybe had a higher cost of failure and have avoided intermodal. We want cargo owners to take advantage of the carbon cost and capacity benefits of intermodal without sacrificing consistency.